Before we begin, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to be alerted to all my new videos on building a sustainable and fulfilling career, as well as sign up for my free newsletter where I include higher detail articles, link in the description. If you want to work as a freelancer in game audio, you can't expect to just be discovered and have a breakout career. You're going to have to promote yourself, so like it or not, promoting yourself is part of your job. There might be all sorts of thoughts swirling in your mind in regards to self-promotion, how to do it effectively, and how do we do it without feeling like a slime ball? Well, in this video, we'll be detangling the headspace of self-promoting as well as effective ways to do it. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Karina Pardis, as a lot of the ideas and articulations from this talk came from her. Promoting yourself is more than just making people aware you exist. It's about convincing them that you're good at what you do and that people who require your service will want to go to you and pay you for it. This feels like bragging though, doesn't it? We were trained from a young age not to brag too much, and so some of us have developed an allergic reaction to it. In my experience, people are very bad at bragging about their accomplishments. They downplay their achievements, or just never bring it up, or the information just isn't findable. We're often too afraid of being pretentious or conceited. But the fact that you're afraid is already good enough. You're self-aware and you're probably already someone who cares and supports other people. The one thing you need to avoid is to sound like a salesperson in your everyday life. But when introducing yourself, you're allowed to give a short list of your biggest achievements, and on the internet, feel free to promote your stuff whenever. Don't hold back on letting people know you've done something cool. As Karina taught me, humility is acknowledging the things that got you where you are, the help you receive, the luck you have, and being able to acknowledge you still have things to work on. But also knowing and acknowledging the achievements you do have. Pride is ignoring that element. Being too proud to acknowledge the help along the way is the obvious one we try to ignore, but also refusing to actually own the achievements we have earned is a form of pride too, and it's the one that gets us. The beautiful thing about game audio is that everyone is so dang kind and friendly. Brag away about your achievements and strengths and your friends will celebrate you, and when they get big wins, you can celebrate with them as well. And we need to share our strengths because just from a business perspective, it's what gets us hired. Your friends and your future clients need to know what you're hireable for, and only you can tell them that. With that acknowledged, to instill confidence in your friends and clients that you are good at what you do, you need a selling point. What are people looking for in a service? If a client asks me to write music for them, I tell them I can do it. But what is your specialty? Why should people go to you over anyone else? I like to write melodic music that reacts to gameplay. Maybe you primarily write funky chiptune, maybe you perform and write Renaissance-style music, or you use analog synths for ambient music. Whatever you do best is your selling point that makes you special. If you don't have a specialization now, that's fine, but as you advance your career, I want you to home in onto something. And the more you specialize in, the easier it is for you to market your selling point. It doesn't mean that you can't do things outside of your specialty. It just means that you're someone that people will remember as a specialist for when they especially need something. Reminder that having a selling point does not equal selling. When you meet someone, you can tell them your specialty, but don't sell them on a service you don't even know if they're buying. I've covered this topic earlier in my other videos, such as how to land the gig and 5 tips on networking. Now, how you present yourself is an integral part of promoting yourself. Now, before I get into things like branding yourself and gimmicks, the actual important thing is that you present yourself as an expert. Even if you don't feel like one, the fact that you're specializing in game audio already means that you are more of an expert than basically anyone else who isn't. So own it. Imposter syndromes can inhibit you from feeling like you're an expert, and many professionals suffer from it, so I plan on doing another video about overcoming it. Next is showing that expertise and optimally what your selling point is. You know how I said that my specialty was melodic layered music? Well, I think you all know that in reality, my actual specialty is networking. There's a reason why I do all of these videos. People very regularly ask me about all of these tips because it's what I'm known for. These videos double as a way of helping people, but also as a form of displaying my expertise. I've also guest appeared on several podcasts and done many talks which have cemented my standing as an expert and led to some growth on social media. Speaking of social media, I think it's helpful to be on multiple platforms, but it's best to focus on one or two. My focus is on Twitter, but I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. What your presence on these platforms looks like is up to you. You can totally cross-post. I mostly share the same things on all platforms. Twitter is me unfiltered, Instagram has a little less posting, and LinkedIn is just purely business. It's also important to acknowledge that your numbers are going to look different on platforms, and in general, Instagram has fewer but more committed people than Twitter. You also don't have to and shouldn't be everywhere. I am not on TikTok. I've thought about it, but the stress of the upkeep isn't worth the effort, even though I think I could do well there. So what about branding? Some people keep their social media presence very clean and professional, but besides LinkedIn, for me, I, for one, do not. How you express yourself is up to you, but how do you get noticed? It can feel like you're just another stone in the pond and don't have anything original to add, but you do. It's all about displaying your talent stack. There's always going to be someone better at a specific discipline than you, but when you stack a few of those together, that talent stack is something that makes you stand out. So for example, my stack is largely a mix of helpful game audio and game dev tweets, relatable queer memes, and stupid jokes, and sometimes all three put together. People who follow me expect to get all of these things, and what yours looks like will start to settle the more presence you have. When considering your talent stack, combine 2 to 4 selling points and things that matter to you, and figure out how you want to deliver that to people. And feel free to workshop things and change things around. Over time, you'll get a better feel about what you want to say and how you want to share it, and you'll start to stand out. Now don't worry, growth is slow and gradual. Sometimes you do just have a crazy spike though. People tend to forget that pre-pandemic I didn't actually have as much of a following as I do now. I've been on Twitter since 2016, mostly just to be social and occasionally share some higher produced content. Some people only do higher produced content, and what that is again I think is up to you to determine, but the most effective content is to show your process, which reflects your expertise. My personal take is that it's impossible to keep up both my actual work and making content for social media, and I don't actually get to double dip nearly as much as you'd think. So because of that, I mostly focus on Twitter to be social and save all my high quality content for this channel and newsletter. Promoting yourself also has to be regular. It doesn't have to be constant, but you can't put in a ton of work, disappear off the face of the earth, and expect people to keep coming. It can feel like you've run out of stuff, but you're also allowed to reuse content. I guarantee you someone didn't see some of your older stuff you posted, so if you have nothing new to share at the moment, just share your old stuff again. Retweet that old video that you put a lot of work into. Do it. Regular posting and self-promotion through social media is important for growing awareness, but it's integral that you also have a website. I hate when people don't have a website. A website is where people are funneled into when they're serious about wanting to learn more about you. If you're brand new, you can use a free website, but literally just anything is better than nothing. As of today's date, I can recommend Car.co for a beautiful, minimalist one-pager, and it's also great for beginners. If you want a more in-depth website, I do recommend you buy your own domain. Even the most bare-bone website needs these 4 things: who you are, what you do, what you've done, and how to contact you. Websites also benefit greatly if they have an about page, proof you're actually good, an aggregation of your external presences, and an actionable step. Your actionable step is to give your visitors a call of action. What that is up to you, but it can be to contact you, to purchase something from you, or sign up for your newsletter. Whatever it is, you should be funneling them somewhere. And even if you think no one is looking at your website, the fact that you have one is greatly effective for people to learn more about you. And once they're there on your website, they're there for a reason. What is your selling point? What is your strength? What is it that makes people want to hire you? And again, if you feel overwhelmed, start small. You don't have to do everything at once, and it'll come along over time. Remember that no one starts out big. It's always a slow and steady process. But through self-promoting your expertise and accomplishments, your growth will snowball and you'll land bigger and better things. Now get out there and show the world that you're an expert and that you're really freaking good at what you do. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more videos on building your career, as well as sign up for my newsletter where I talk about things in higher detail. Also, I read every comment and email, so if you have any questions or have any suggestions on topics you want me to cover, feel free to comment below. Thanks again, till next time, and good luck out there.